Austin. I'm coming to you live from the Austin City Limits Music Festival here in Austin, Texas. Whether you call us Bat City, Cap City, or the music capital of the world, about 1 million people call us home. And 150 people per day are doing the exact same thing. I'm Jennifer Martin. I'm a longtime Austinite, wife, mother of 4, and a real estate agent. And I help people just like you figure out if moving here is the right place for them. Imagine me being your eyes and ears here on the street, so when you get here, you know exactly where you want to go eat and exactly what streets to avoid at rush hour. If you're like me, which I don't know, I assume people are, you can tell me everything about a city, but if I don't actually look at, the aerial view of it, I have a really hard time remembering what is on this part of town, this is on that part of town, right? And so I thought we would just look at a map and kind of go through where things are to help you as you're figuring out where you're going to live. All right, this is the overview of Austin here. So we have a couple of main thoroughfares, and we call them different things. And so I-35 is also 290. You'll see Mopac over there is also 1. It's the Mopac Expressway. It's also 1. 290 is also 71. But then 71 also goes up to the northwest. So that's one of the most fun things to get used to when you move here is all the different names of the streets. A lot of people that are new to town don't realize that Austin is a city of bridges. There are 3 main bridges that lead into downtown, which are South First, Congress, and the Lamar Bridge. And then out west, we have the 360 Bridge that gets you over the river and into downtown from the west side of Austin. So as we zoom in a little bit closer, over west, you're not going to see a ton of affordable new construction. It's because we're over an Edwards Aquifer zone on that side of town, which means that there are very, very severe limits on what can be built and how much ground cover there can be over west. So you're going to see much larger lots. You are going to see really big, beautiful homes, but you'll have a lot of space in between them because that's what the city requires so that we don't, flood the city or just run out of water. When we go southwest, this is where I live and specialize. When you head out 290, that's how you're going to get to Dripping Springs, right? But here in this little southwest corridor, you have Oak Hill. This has been historically really, really, really bad traffic. I mean, the Oak Hill Y is literally famous for having the worst traffic in the world because if you look at the map right here, we have a big freeway, 290, that just bottlenecks into a 2-lane road. Absolute nightmare. So they're revamping it. It's all being rebuilt. We're going to have overpasses and bridges. It's going to be wonderful. Until then, traffic there's really bad, but I live there. It's worth it anyway. Now that Mopac right here, Loop 1, goes all the way down to Circle C, it's actually pretty easy to get to from downtown. And so if you're working downtown and you have a family and you want to live in Circle C or you want to live in Southwest Austin, you jump right there on Mopac. It's just a straight shot. It's not bad at all. If you're over on the east side, I-35 is much more difficult to navigate than Mopac. Traffic's really bad. There's a lot of 18-wheelers on it because it goes all the way to Dallas from San Antonio. And so I don't really care for I-35. I think traffic is worse. There's a lot more accidents. Over here, southeast, is where you're going to see more new construction. Land is cheap. It's pretty flat, so it's a lot easier to build. So there are a ton of new construction communities going in. A lot of cities, if you look at Houston and Dallas, will have these concentric circles that go around the cities, right? And then there are streets that come in like wagon wheels. With Austin, because of the Edwards Aquifer and because of the water systems that are on the west, we only have a half of a circle. So that 130 loops around the half of the city, and then we have some of those wagon wheel spokes coming in, like 71, like MLK, like 290 there that you see. But it does allow you to buy new construction in one of these areas like Cedar Park, Round Rock, Pflugerville, Leander. Tons of new construction out towards Manor, out towards the east side. That's where you're going to get your houses in the $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 mark for a brand new house. I have some home tours on my channel for those neighborhoods, so make sure to check those out. A lot of people live in Cedar Park and Pflugerville and commute into downtown. It's just something that people do. There is a train that goes from the north into downtown. It's maybe not necessarily faster, but it would prevent you from having to take a car. If you're looking inside of the rectangle of Austin, that's going to be probably some of the most expensive real estate here. From that center part of Austin over west, that's where things are the most expensive. If you can come further south, go further north, or go further east, then real estate is a lot more affordable. If you want space and you don't really care about affordability, but you want a big, beautiful home, you want the best schools in town, you want lots of families, if that's what you're looking for. Like for me, I'm willing to deal with a little bit of traffic, and I'm willing to pay a little bit of a higher price to have a home that's big enough for my 4 children and a yard big enough. We're on over an acre in Oak Hill. We wanted space for them to run, ride their bikes, ride their scooters. We could put in a pool. All of these things that you're going to be able to do when you live a little bit further west because you have a bigger yard, versus if you're central or east, it is a little bit harder. Schools are definitely going to be better in the southwest, west, northwest corridor, all the way up to Leander, Liberty Hill. They have fabulous schools. East doesn't have as the reputation for having the best schools, but there are a lot of charter schools and private schools that are east, like IDEA schools are over there. LASA, which is a really top science school, is over there as well. So you do have opportunities depending on where you want to live. You can find a place to get into the Greenbelt pretty much from any place in town. The hike and bike trail around Ladybird Lake, that's where everybody goes to run, walk. There's a ton of people there all the time. It's really fun. It's beautiful. You just walk around the lake, and there's a 3-mile loop, a 5-mile loop, a 10-mile loop. So you can really, choose your poison when it comes to your activities there. So this was 6th Street. I mean, it is 6th Street, but it's what people envision whenever they think of 6th Street in Austin. After quarantine, after COVID, a lot of it is boarded up, a lot of it is abandoned. It's going to get a new revitalization, but it hasn't happened yet. So if you're coming to Austin thinking that 6th Street is the place that you're going to come party, you have kind of another thing. East 6th Street is where we go a little bit more if we want to go get dinner. It's kind of hipster, right? If like young people come hang out here, we're probably a little bit too old. I think a lot of the bachelor parties think like, how did they let these old people out of their houses to get here? But whatever. There are some very good restaurants. Again, it doesn't look like it, but some of these are very, very tasty spots. Downtown is not like some downtowns. There's not a ton to do. You'll have a few higher end steakhouses, mostly banks, mostly offices. Besides Barton Creek Mall and Westlake, the Domain is where you're going to do most of your shopping when you live in Austin. If you want to do any kind of like higher end shopping that's not Target, the mall and the Domain are where you're going to go. A lot of the dining at the Domain is outdoor seating, like you'll see here. So we take advantage of the outdoors a lot in Austin, even though there's a large time of the year that it's 110 degrees outside. But all of these patios will have fans, they have misters, they have lots of ways to try to make you comfortable, even though it's hot, because most of the year it's amazing. If you head south on I-35, over here on the right-hand side is where you're going to see all of the medical centers. You're going to see Dell, you'll see the Moody Theater. This is where you're going to come listen to pretty much all of your live music in town. So this is what's going on the east side. You'll also see the UT campus over here right next to the Moody Theater. If you're curious about Austin demographics, there were 975,000 people in Austin. The average age is 34.5. We have a very young city. It also keeps it very vibrant, very fun. It's very young. $89,000 is the average income for an Austinite. So that is above average, which you'd have to be to really be able to afford housing here. $590,000 is the average home price in Austin, and the average rent is just about $1,700. If you'd like a personalized home tour or more information about a neighborhood, be sure to reach out. My contact information is below. I'd love to help. Let's connect. I have people just like you move here from across the country, across the state, and across town. We are down here keeping it weird. We'd love to have you join us.